My name is Helen. I am 53 years old, and I live in a quiet town outside Chicago. I want to tell you a story about my son, Daniel. He left home 7 years ago, and ever since that day, I have kept an empty chair at the dinner table. Every Sunday, I cook dinner. It has always been our tradition: roast chicken, mashed potatoes, fresh bread, and apple pie for dessert. When Daniel was a little boy, he would run into the kitchen, pulling at my apron, asking if the pie was ready. He loved Sundays. We all did. But one Sunday, everything broke. Daniel was 20 when he left. We had a terrible fight. I told him he was wasting his life. He told me I was controlling and never understood him. He packed his bags and slammed the door. I stood at the window and watched him walk away. I thought he would return in a day, or maybe a week. But he never did. 7 years have passed since that night. Every Sunday, I still set the table for four: me, my husband Richard, our daughter Anna, and the empty chair. Richard tells me I should stop. He says it hurts me more to keep that chair waiting. Anna says I should move on, but I can't, because a mother never moves on. That empty chair is my prayer, my hope, my silent way of telling the world: my son still has a place here. On ordinary days, I tell myself I am strong. I tell myself I am fine. But on Sundays, when I lay out Daniel's plate and fold the napkin, my heart breaks all over again. Last month, on a stormy Sunday night, the impossible happened. Rain crashed against the windows. The thunder was loud, and the lights flickered. I had just finished setting the table when the doorbell rang. Richard looked up from his newspaper. "Who could that be in this weather?" he asked. I wiped my hands on my apron and walked to the door. My heart beat strangely fast, as if it already knew. I opened it, and there he was. Daniel. He was standing in the rain, his clothes soaked, his hair longer than I remembered. His face looked older, sharper, but his eyes were the same. My son's eyes. "Hi, Mom," he whispered. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My hands trembled, and tears filled my eyes. "Daniel!" I reached out, afraid he might vanish if I blinked. But he was real. He was here. Richard came to the door. His face went pale. "Daniel," he said, his voice breaking. Anna ran down the stairs. "Oh my God, it's him!" She threw her arms around her brother. Daniel hugged her back, but I could see the weight he carried in his shoulders. I finally found my voice. "Come in, sweetheart." "You're freezing." He stepped inside, dripping rain on the floor. The warmth of the house wrapped around him, but I could feel the distance still between us. At the table, Daniel stared at the empty chair. His chair, the one I had kept for 7 years. His lips trembled. You kept it?" he asked. I nodded. "It was always yours." For a long moment, none of us spoke. Then Daniel sat down in that chair, and my heart nearly burst. The chair was no longer empty. I served him food, and he ate slowly, like someone who hadn't had a home-cooked meal in years. His eyes closed when he tasted the pie, and I saw the little boy he used to be. But I also saw something else: pain. When dinner was over, Richard asked softly, "Why now, Daniel? Why after all this time?" Daniel's hands tightened around his fork. He didn't look at us when he answered, "Because I made mistakes. And because I couldn't carry them alone anymore." We moved to the living room. The storm outside raged on, but inside, the storm was just beginning. Daniel leaned forward, his hands shaking. "The night I left, I thought I was proving I could live without you. I thought I was free, but freedom turned into loneliness. I worked small jobs, slept on couches, lived in cheap apartments. And then, he swallowed hard, I got mixed up with the wrong people. My chest tightened. What do you mean? I started drinking. At first, it was just to escape. Then, it became every day. I owed money. I hurt people who cared about me. I hurt myself. His voice cracked. And every time I wanted to call you, I was too ashamed. Tears spilled from my eyes. I reached for his hand. Daniel, you should have called. We would have helped you. I know, he whispered, but I thought you hated me. I thought if I walked back in, you'd shut the door. I shook my head fiercely. A mother never shuts the door on her child. Never. He looked at me then, truly looked, and I saw the boy I had raised beneath the man who had been broken. Richard cleared his throat. His voice was steady, but I knew him well enough to hear the pain beneath. Son, I was angry. But not because you left, because I was scared of losing you. And I almost did. Anna wiped her tears. We all missed you, Danny. Every day Daniel buried his face in his hands. I'm so sorry. For the years I lost, for the pain I caused, for leaving you with nothing but an empty chair, I pulled him into my arms. You came back. That's what matters. That night, Daniel slept in his old room. I stayed awake, listening to the storm fade into silence. I walked quietly into his room once, just to make sure he was really there. His chest rose and fell, his face peaceful at last. For the first time in years, the house felt whole again. The weeks that followed were not easy. Daniel had to face his past. He went to meetings for his drinking. He found a steady job. Some days he was hopeful, other days he was tired. But through it all, the chair at the table was never empty again. One Sunday, as we cleared the plates, Daniel touched my arm. Mom, he said, thank you for never giving up on me. I smiled through tears. I told you, Daniel, a mother never moves on. A mother always keeps a place. Now, when I look at that chair, I don't see emptiness anymore. I see forgiveness. I see love that survived storms, silence, and years of distance. The empty chair was my prayer, and one stormy night, God answered.